My aunt is better than your aunt. My aunt is the greatest aunt out here, and there is no debate about it. There are many beautiful things about my aunt, but honestly, if I sat here and told you all of them, I would run out of time. She's one of the most influential people in my life, and honestly, if you met her, you'd feel the exact same way. Now, there's so many great qualities about her, but I'll give you a few of my favorite. My aunt is dependable, supportive, and extremely confident. With her great qualities, she shaped me into the person that I am today, and for that, I feel like there's no way that I could ever repay her. But I'll start off by trying to give her this beautiful speech about how she is beautiful inside and out. So, with her first trait, her dependableness, she had proven to me the importance of keeping my word. Multiple times there have been people in my life who would promise me things and never follow through with it, but thankfully my aunt had never fallen into that category. Whenever I needed something, my aunt always made sure to pull through for me. And for that, I feel like there's nothing I can ever do that can match up to how beautiful she is. So, thankfully, I got to experience so many things because of her, because of the fact that she could keep her word. There are certain gifts that I would want or certain things I would need in life that I would never get from anyone else. And just because of the fact that she told me that she could do it, she would do it. She had to raise multiple kids, including myself, but every single day she would go out and get us everything that we needed without us ever having to ask, ever having to ask twice. So moving on from how dependable she is, I want to point out how supportive she is. My aunt always made sure to listen to everything that was bothering me. And although she wouldn't tell me that I'm right when I'm wrong, she still made sure to tell me that things were going to be okay. Whenever it was time for me to move into college, I was very hesitant about it because I wasn't sure if I was making the correct decision. Multiple times I had people in my ear who were telling me that going to college was not a good idea and that going into the military was going to be best for me. And although I wasn't sure what was best for me, I was leaning towards going into what everybody else wanted me to do. So, whenever I got overwhelmed, I reached out to my aunt and I had asked her myself, hey, what do you think I should do? And instead of her telling me which decision she felt like was best, she sat and she asked me, Quasia, what do you want to do? Weirdly enough, nobody had ever asked me this question, so I didn't even know what to answer. So I told her, I don't know. And so she asked me, okay, well, what things are you looking for out of life? And so we sat and we had a long conversation about what I wanted out of life and what I wanted to do with my future. And the whole time, all she did was sit and listen. And at the end of our conversation, she told me, okay, well, with that, think of what you want and think of how both of these match up, and then come back to me and tell me what your decision is. And when you come back, I'll have your back 100% as long as it's making you happy. And with her teaching me that, I made sure to always put myself first because I always knew that my aunt would be behind me 100% because of the fact that it was what was making me happy. And for that, I can't even imagine how I would work or function without that important trait in my life. Along with another one of her beautiful traits is her confidence. Thankfully, I met her. I'll keep saying that throughout this whole speech. I'm so thankful that I met my aunt. I'm so thankful for having her in my life because her confidence and her light showed me the things that I needed for myself, which was confidence. So whenever my aunt walks into a room, I feel as though she walks in like she owns the room. The room is hers. And so she taught me that no matter what, one of the best things about me is the fact that I was me and that I need to hold myself to a high standard, the highest standard that I could, because I am a great person inside and out. And that's how she feels about herself. And that's how I feel about her. And so thankfully, she showed me this beautiful thing about herself because it showed me about how powerful your confidence can really be. With her showing me how confident she was in everything, how confident she was in how she dressed, how confident she was in how she spoke, and how confident she was in how she carried herself. It made me be comfortable with my body. It made me be comfortable with my hair because I have no reason not to be. And I learned this from my aunt. Everything that I do, I learned from my aunt. My aunt is honestly my favorite family member, but don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. So honestly, I am so thankful for her, and I feel as though that the world would stand still without her. So at the end, in conclusion of my speech, my aunt's strong traits about being dependable, confident, and very supportive are some of my favorite traits about her, and this is why she is such an important figure in my life.